What's happening, everyone? This is like when Noel and Liam Gallagher got back together.
It's not about that.
Is it?
Yeah.
No?
I'm not Noel or Liam, so
I'm quite happy to portray myself at least as Liam Gallagher. But this is
yeah. At best, I'm Liam, and you're like the drummer. So I don't think that's any. Yeah, it's like when Noel and the drummer meet up for drinks.
yeah, it's the reunion tour.
Yeah, it's a good tour, though.
I'm delighted to welcome Laurence McKenna onto the channel for the first time in what feels like a decade, but. It's Chelsea versus Liverpool at Wembley in the League Cup final, so there is only one man to discuss it with.
I'm so excited.
It's huge, isn't it?
There's so many different little narratives and like little bits that we can pick at, and we've got a bit of a shaky thing going on. You guys just win games randomly.
Yeah, I think our unpredictability is something that could do you a mischief.
But, right, like but. One yardstick that I use to measure the difference between Liverpool at the start of the season and now, and Chelsea at the start of the season and now, was we played each other first game of the season when I was there, and it was 1-1.
Yeah.
It was
could have been very different that game, though. Salah had a goal disallowed, didn't he? That would have put you 2-0 up and everything would have been different.
He did, but even then I felt there was a midfield structure where I thought, okay, I can see a bit of what Poch is doing here. When I look at it now, I'm a bit more like... There's games where I see it and there's games where I see you giving up, or games where I see things just not going the way you want.
Yeah, it is interesting because Pochettino, I think that generally speaking, the public, the football fans, like and rate Pochettino. I'm not part of that. I don't really believe in him. I don't really believe in the project.
Would you rate him if he wasn't Chelsea manager?
No, I never really rated him at Tottenham. I always thought he was a bit misleading. You know, people would go, he's a very good manager. He did brilliantly at Tottenham. Like, I hear that a lot, and I just don't subscribe to that at all.
I just like him, I think. And
I think people do.
It blinds me a little bit. It doesn't blind me because I watch Chelsea with my brother-in-law and go, they are rubbish, aren't they? Sometimes.
Yeah, often.
And, yeah, like very often. But then there's games where I watch them and you blow a couple of teams away, or you sort of score 4 or something, and I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
But you don't know who... You know, if you were to just sort of play a game with virtually any team in the Premier League, if you were to say... What are Eddie Howe's Newcastle United all about? And in a few succinct sentences or even succinct words, you'd be able to say, then you use the word intensity, you'd use the word press, because that's who Eddie Howe's Newcastle are.
Or even go, what's Eddie Howe's ideal front three?
Yeah,
so for instance, on my way here, I was thinking, my front three for that would probably be, it's not Jota anymore, but Diaz, Núñez, Salah.
Yeah.
And
it
I
makes
went,
complete sense.
That's who should start.
Exactly.
Or maybe Cody Gakpo and then Núñez comes on later.
Yeah.
For you guys, I'm like, what is it that you're going to do? And therefore, I'm not saying you don't have anything and you're not going to do anything, but what is the idea that springs to mind when I think, how are you going to get it off?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't really think that Pochettino knows. I don't really think Pochettino knows who his version of Chelsea are. I don't think he has a clue. I also don't think that he really knows his first team. There are certain players that must start. For example, I believe there is some conversation around this. I'm just not part of it. I believe that Thiago Silva has to start.
I agree with that. I think having experience in that back line, and I think with the movement of Liverpool, you just need someone who can marshal it a bit and be like, where are you?
Yes.
Push him around.
I think,
you know what I mean?
I think there are frailties to Thiago Silva. You know, he's a 40-year-old centre-back in the Premier League. It causes problems, and you have to offset having him in the team. And some would argue that Chelsea are better with a more physical, swift and aggressive back line.
I agree.
Without Silva. But I'm not part of that. But for me, he starts. For me, Cole Palmer starts. There are certain players that must start.
He is. I think
so
he's
much
world.
debate.
Is he not world class, Cole Palmer?
He's potentially.
He's one of those ones where you go, oh, you're moving up into that bracket. You know, when I watch him, I'm like, wow.
You know the kids that are around in football at the moment. If you think of maybe the best kids across football, you could talk about Harvey Elliott. You could talk about.
Would you take Harvey Elliott at Chelsea?
Yes, I think he's a very good player.
Where do you think he'd play?
I think
on the right.
I think at Chelsea, at almost any other club than he's very unfortunate that he plays for Liverpool. He's very fortunate that he plays for Liverpool for a million reasons. There's one reason why he's very unfortunate that he plays for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because to get into Liverpool's front three, and I think that's his natural position, you've got to basically be one of the best players in the world, and he isn't that yet.
And Soboslai came in and played the right midfield position.
Yeah.
But he's been really good. Anyway, sorry, I'm taking it off. But the point
in terms of like the future Ballon d'Or winners, you bring up Alejandro Garnacho, you might bring up Rico Lewis, you might bring up Brandon Hoyland,
Chouameni.
Michael Olise.
Haaland, no.
Haaland won't win a Ballon d'Or, I don't think.
And purely because people see him as an out-and-out striker. And that's the issue.
Yes, and he isn't aesthetically pleasing enough for some.
No,
for
good
me,
point.
I think he was robbed of a Ballon d'Or last year.
Really good
when
point.
Messi won it, but that's a different thing. But I think Cole Palmer, in that next crop of brilliant footballers, if you want to bring up Højlund and whoever else, in that new crop, I think Cole Palmer is as likely to be considered world class and have a stake at winning a Ballon d'Or as anyone else.
For me, I think he's got like a ceiling of someone like I know this is going to sound mental, but like a Xavi or an Iniesta type, where you could see him at a club for a number of years and he's really facilitates everyone else, but no one ever goes, there's always someone alongside him who's amazing.
But already this season, if you think about the output, and this is what is really, really important. Like, he scored 10 Premier League goals already at time of filming. He's scored 10. Like, that is, that's not sort of being a decent player without any end product. That is taking games by the scruff of the neck and making sure that our team win points.
And I think that's where I worry. I think, where Liverpool seem susceptible is, and what we've had a lot this season, is good performances from individuals against us. Playing Luton at home.
Great, weren't they?
Yeah, they're really good. But Ross Barkley showed up and really ran it in the midfield.
Yeah.
That's where it worries me a little bit. When Arsenal beat us, it was like, right, they packed the midfield, made it really difficult. You do have that as a thing that you can do.
Yes.
And that's the only thing that really worries me.
That's the problem. When we're going into this fixture, I'm terrified, to be totally frank.
Really?
I don't think we have a prayer. But the only reason that we do have a prayer is that individual brilliance. Unpredictable, mercurial talent that does something dazzling that you nor I could possibly envisage. That's how Chelsea win. How Liverpool win is Jurgen Klopp gets it right. Yeah, you structure a win. We pull a win out of nowhere.
I just wonder if you actually have really good pieces, and I'm only trying to just play with it, to win against us. So you remember how Arsenal won against us different pieces but similar. They had that little four in the midfield and then two wide guys. You do kind of have that personnel. If you were to put Cole Palmer wide left, if you could, or Cole Palmer inside left, and then, someone quick out on the wing, and then, I know Raheem Sterling's not like exactly,
he's not playing well.
But out on the right, someone else in there, and then you've got Enzo and
Caicedo, yeah.
And then one more midfielder.
Gallagher.
Gallagher was great against Liverpool that opening game.
The problem is, though, the way that Arsenal did it, Arsenal surprised me that day, massively surprised me. But Arteta got it right. Arteta deserves huge amounts of credit. But then almost more importantly, personnel at Arsenal, to a man almost, you're looking at the very top tier of Premier League footballers.
Yeah, and therefore, Liverpool need to worry about them a bit more.
Whereas Chelsea hasn't got, we haven't got that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, when you think about our midfielders, I know people will tell you that he's brilliant. Enzo Fernandez, he's won the World Cup and Messi loves him or whatever else. But he's basically been at Chelsea a year now. He's played, 39, 40 Premier League games. So that's a full season's worth of data. You're looking at 3 goals, 2 assists.
You've not exactly played... Here's 2 things. First of all, you're not playing in what most people go as his best position. But secondly, I don't know really what his best position in league football is. In world football, as a midfielder, it's different. I felt like Pirlo was a very good league player, but an exceptional world, on the world stage player, because there's a bit more space in the midfield.
Yeah.
There's a bit more, there is a bit more license. And you almost have a little bit more time to do that.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Messi and everyone else around him affords him that time. But I do think there's still that position somewhere. You've not made the most of Caicedo. Gallagher's working his...
Yeah, right. Gallagher's been brilliant. He's got a very good eye for a goal lately as well. But ultimately, I think that we are struggling against you, because when I think about generally when you set up for Chelsea to win a cup final, we've got to look at the opposition and think, where do we exploit? Who's vulnerable? Where's there a weak link? And you look across Liverpool, you think, okay, it's probably going to be Kelleher in goal, isn't it?
No, it will be. I mean, even if it wasn't, I think we would have played him anyway.
He's going to be brilliant.
The cup.
He's going to be brilliant in the cup. I just know that he's going to turn into Taffarel.
Well, he was very good against Brentford on the Saturday before the cup. And there are a couple of performances he put together where you go, okay, yeah, right, you've got a bit of confidence now. But when he first came in, it was a bit like, I'm not Alisson.
So then Konate's arguably been your best defender, arguably.
We might play Jarell Quansah, but if it is the final, even then it's like, it's not like he's a massive deficient player. Yeah. We won't play Trent because Trent will be injured. That's the thing you can look at and go, how many injuries?
Been fantastic.
He's been amazing. And if anything, almost better in defence than Trent is, and in attack.
And he was great against us.
Yeah.
He's already played really well against us.
He's really good against you. He had a really good game. And then sadly, obviously, since his dad's passed away, which is very sad, but you get what I'm saying. There's something there of a kid. Salah will play because Jota's injured. Curtis Jones won't play, so we're likely to play Endo, McAllister. Szoboszlai might get fit.
Endo has become, somehow, I'm not quite sure, Endo at various points, particularly when he was first signed, it wasn't necessarily the source of ridicule, but it wasn't seen as being a particularly inspiring signing. You missed out on Lavia, you missed out on Caicedo, you went and got Endo from the German league.
Yeah, from Stuttgart.
And suddenly you miss him.
He's the first person I mention in almost every match review because I go, wow, you covered all that space for insert, dynamic name here. Oh, you covered all that space for insert dynamic player here. And he just covers all that off. So if you were to play a Cole Palmer or you were to play Gallagher or you were to play Enzo, I'd expect Klopp to go, just clamp him every time.
Yeah.
And Endo's that kind of player that loves just getting into the back of a player, don't let him turn, don't let him get away. And if he does, Canate just comes through and goes, bang!
And then that, realistically as well, when you think about all of your attacking threat, because Liverpool have goals galore in the team.
I mean, it's the first time since 1981 that 4 players have scored 10 goals or more at this point in the season.
Lethal.
And that was a Dalglish.
Yeah.
That was like an imperious Liverpool team.
Yeah, won the European Cup.
One of the best Liverpool teams ever, So we're sharing the goals around. It's not like it's just... Salah's obviously got 19 goals at time of recording. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But it's not like we're just going, get it to him.
Are you worried? Because I'm going into this final and I just can't really see a world in which Chelsea win this game, short of a miracle.
So I'm a little bit
worried. Looking at it from the same perspective, going, we're going to win this game short of a miracle from Chelsea.
So Poch, historically, actually has relatively good games against Klopp.
But not when it matters.
Sure.
Like in Madrid.
And then Klopp's had the upper hand in those games. I just feel like there's got to be... It's almost like roll the dice so many times.
Yeah.
There's going to be a...
Law of averages.
Yeah, there was Klopp last season.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that I would play on if I was not only Poch, but it's in general thinking mentality-wise. Liverpool, the pressure's on Liverpool here. Their manager's going, we're at the beginning of our arc towards whatever here, lads. Even if I'm not around, you're still going to become Chelsea. So there's that. Obviously, it's also at Wembley. Wembley's not exactly an away ground for you. Like if we were playing some
terrible record there lately, though.
Really?
Well, all right, 2 cup finals against you.
Yeah, not
like our record at Wembley.
We didn't score in those, and nor did you.
No,
we didn't score in those.
Beat us. Oh no, you've got to remember we lost to Leicester, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we haven't got a good record at Wembley lately. We've been losing cup finals, which is what Arsenal beat us in a cup final recently.
Does it not stink a little bit, though, of narrative where you go, you will in 2 years sit on Saturday Social or the club or whatever and go, yeah, that was a terrible season for Poch, but he did win the cup.
I hope.
You get what I mean? That's exactly that line.
That is something that happens to Chelsea managers. You've got to remember that I'd say the worst Chelsea manager in the recent era, the worst we've had is probably, in terms of managerial acumen, Avram Grant.
So I was going to say Avram Grant, but I thought that might be disrespectful to someone that everyone loves.
No, Avram Grant, I think, probably just not a tactician at all. Could have easily won the European Cup. Easily. We were so close to winning it. He was a John Terry kick away from winning the European Cup.
And Di Matteo did.
Di Matteo actually won it, and who was, again, I adore the man. I think he deserves a statue, but he's not seen as being a good manager. No. So there is a world in which Chelsea, and because we do have a good track record of success as a club, we can pull it out the bag. But generally speaking, I'm petrified.
I get that. Finals, it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. I think I still haven't seen Liverpool react well in a big game yet this season. That would be where I'd play if I was you. If you're Chelsea, you're going, get them on the break, try and exploit the pace that you've got. Because you have pace in your team.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pacey forwards.
Yeah, get Mudryk running at you. It's just he can't control the ball when he gets to it.
Jackson Phillips.
Hopefully, he'll probably be suspended by then.
Yeah,
loves getting booked. Man.
Yeah,
loves it.
Yeah,
but look, I can't really see a world. But what's your prediction?
I think it might be the first time that Liverpool win within the 90 minutes.
And I'm going to pray for a penalties. I think that's our best chance of winning.
If you had bought someone in January where you had a big striker, I thought Armando Broja was going to be that, but he just hasn't. He just stinks of sending him off to Lazio.
I think it was allowing him to leave. Look, whether Broja is Chelsea quality or not is a different debate. I would argue that he can certainly do a job for this team. But we should have never let him go without someone else coming in.
That's my point. I was like, if you had a big man where I went, at least he'll attract something.
Yeah.
If there was someone there where I went, that's the guy that is worrying me.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Liverpool,
we haven't got that. We haven't. It will be false nines probably. It's not. it's not going to give Virgil van Dijk a sleepless night the night before the cup final.
Here's how you win it. Which every team has done against Liverpool and has done well with. You pepper Kelleher and you go, worry about this.
Yeah.
Enzo,
Take
good
the
at
game,
shoot from
take the game
distance.
to the- yeah.
Yeah, you go, Gallagher, shoot from distance. You got a lot of good technicians in the team.
You go.
That's how you win it.
You're going to go.
I'm trying. Anyone out there? I probably can't stand in the Chelsea end, but I've been to a Chelsea game before, Liverpool versus Chelsea in. It was the one where you beat us, but Andy Carroll scored late, I think.
Yeah.
Kenny Dalglish was the manager.
Yes. Yeah, you're not... Carroll scoring at Stamford Bridge?
No,
you knocked us out
at
of the cup.
Wembley.
Oh, Wembley, yeah, we won the cup.
Yeah, you won the cup.
Yeah, we won the cup, Ramirez.
Yeah, and we got like a late...
Yeah.
But that wasn't really anything.
Yes.
That was a good occasion. And I do remember, look at it, because that wasn't prime Liverpool Chelsea. It felt like it cooled down a little bit. But I do remember going, oh, look at those Chelsea fans. Like, sometimes you look across at the City fans and you go, God. I looked at the Chelsea, and you went, oh, that's a real fan vibe. They're really,
it's nice.
They hate us and we hate them.
Yeah, it's passionate.
And I love that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Also, mate, just a quick catch up. You have now 2 football channels.
Liverpool I do.
This is huge.
Liverpool one's going all right, 10K.
The link to that, by the way, is in the description below.
Thank you. Okay. And then the other one's football channel.
So do you just do all of your Liverpool content on one channel now?
It's getting too much. It was getting too much for the mainstreamers.
Right.
So the mainstreamers were like, what are you doing this for? And I went, I'll just put it all there.
Yeah.
And then I can make a video whenever I like about it. And then the other channel is like, oh, I'll talk about Chelsea. Because I quite like talking about Chelsea. Chelsea's a good team to talk about. I love
Yeah,
watch.
there's a lot to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of good Chelsea channels out there now. There's you. No, like George Benson and people like that.
George.
There's lots of good guys who do good Chelsea stuff.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get in on the mix.
No, brilliant. Thank you
for
so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure that you subscribe to Lawrence's Liverpool channel. The link is in the description below. Lawrence, an honour to have you on, mate.
Good luck.
Been far too long. Thank you.
I hope you
Good luck.
Don't do it, but yeah.